this being the first time a very strong case is being made against a sitting president, that I fear that this regime might find a way to disrupt, the ongoing, trial, and make it impossible for the judiciary to render a judgment. So far, I want to say that we are encouraged by the proceedings so far. We are also encouraged by the strength of the evidences being produced by the petitioners, i.e. the Labour Party.
Good morning, welcome to your most preferred YouTube channel, Nation's Voice Tower. That's YouTube channel that brings you updates on the polity, that particular content creating channel that brings you all issues relating to the political system in Nigeria, and that same YouTube channel that keeps you updated on the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal, as well as other occurrences denting the political space in Nigeria. My name is Angelo. A few hours ago, Professor Eddie Oparoji, the chairman, American Nigerian Coalition for Justice and Democracy, has reacted to the ongoing Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal. Prof. Oparoji said that there is no way in the history of Nigeria that a sitting president has ever been sacked before by the judiciary, and this might be the first time that a sitting president will get sacked by the judiciary, according to the professor. He further opined that the judiciary has the final say on the matter, and they would let justice prevail because they are the hope of the common man. Yes, this particular update is pertaining the ongoing Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal. Let me allow you have a brief video watch from the long interview granted by Professor Eddie Oparoji. We'll be back with more analysis after this video clip. Stay tuned.
So far, I want to say that we are encouraged by the proceedings so far. We are also encouraged by the strength of the evidences being produced by the petitioners, i.e. the Labour Party and the PDP, as well as making their case before the panel of judges. Now, how long that's going to last, or where it's going to end, that judgment is still out. One of the things that obviously jumps out to anyone who has been following the tribunal is the weird situation where we find INEC basically behaving like a political party or an affiliate of the APC in this whole trial that is ongoing, whereby the CTC that they have issued to political parties, they have been objecting. Those CTCs have been admitted as evidence, which, like I said earlier, is quite weird. Obviously, with what we are seeing so far, it begins to make us feel that we do not have much confidence in INEC as it is. Now, with regard to the judiciary and trust in the judiciary, as of, like I said, at this moment, the case appears to be going pretty good. We believe the judges have been fair in where the decisions they have made so far with regard to this particular trial, and we're only keeping our fingers crossed to see whether another shoe is going to drop. Now, whether or not the judiciary will have the courage at the end of the day, all said and done, to remove a sitting interim, select president, is another, case altogether. But we want to believe that as the last hope of the common man, as far as our system is concerned. We will continue to pray and hope that the judiciary will muster the courage to do the right thing. I want to believe that they will have the courage to do the right thing. Whether or not they will be allowed to do the right thing is a different matter altogether. I want to believe that this being the first time a very strong case is being made against a sitting president, that I fear that this regime might find a way to disrupt, the ongoing, trial, and make it impossible for the judiciary to render a judgment, which, especially if it's a judgment that appears to be going against them. That's just my fear. It's not founded by any fact other than the fact that this is going to be the first time in our history that a sitting president will be lawfully, removed from office. Now, with regards to my fate in INEC, going forward, I will say that has already been very much eroded. At this point in time, given all that we have seen INEC do in this trial, I believe, to be kind, I will say that INEC has been behaving like a criminal enterprise, behaving like a scam organization, and they have totally lost credibility with the Nigerian people. And at this point in time, given that historically speaking, INEC in Nigeria has not conducted a free and fair election, and it appears to be getting worse, every 4 years that they have to conduct these elections. So in my own opinion, I think INEC has, come to its last, stop. It should be disbanded. Mahmoud Jakub and his, co-travelers, they should be fired and tried, for what they have put Nigerians through, both emotionally and resource-wise. And I think that should be actually the beginning of the new Nigeria that we so much expected.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still your most preferred YouTube channel, Nation's Voice Tower. Before I analyze more on what Professor Idiop Aroji said, I would love to urge our viewers, both incoming and already existing, to please subscribe and don't forget to tap the notification bell so you will get updates anytime we drop new contents. Okay, now don't forget to share, watch till the end, and like our videos, and don't forget to also drop a comment section for us in the comment box. Drop a comment for us in the comment section rather if you feel different from anything we're doing here. Professor Idiop Aroji has just laid bare his own thoughts, okay, over the ongoing election petitions tribunal, presidential to be precise. So I would say from his statement that maybe the Labour Party is making headway in the appeal court because we've seen various evidences tendered by the two parties who are the first and second petitioners, talking about the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party respectively. We've not seen any progress made by the Council to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Neither have we seen any progress made by the Council to the APC and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of Nigeria. So it will be something of surprise and something of some sort of a mind-boggling surprise to see that Asiwaju and Senator Kashim Shettima are ousted out or sacked by the judiciary after the 180 days stipulated duration given to the judiciary to pass a verdict or justice on this tribunal. That is that on that particular update. And now, few moments ago, renowned civil and political rights activist Yemi Ademolekun came out to tackle former Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai and the current Speaker of the Lagos House of Assembly, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, over decisive remarks that were credited to the duo recently. This particular update is about ethnic and religious bigotry. Now recall that while addressing a group of Islamic clerics several days ago, El-Rufai was quoted boasting about how Muslims displayed dominance over their Christian counterparts in the just concluded general elections. And he also spoke in his statement to justify the reason why he picked a Muslim for his deputy while he assumed office in 2019, hereby trying to justify a Muslim ticket for the politics of Nigeria, where two main religions exist. On the part of the Lagos State Speaker of House of Assembly, on his swearing-in day last Thursday for a third term in office consecutively, Mudashiru Obasa had insisted that Lagos belongs to the Yorubas, and as such, a bill will be passed into law to protect the rights of indigents in the state, especially in areas of property acquisition and business. This particular statement is following up from the issues that bothered the political system in Nigeria during the election period, where we heard of news and we watched the video footages where touts in Lagos State prevented people from other states from voting, especially if you were not voting for a particular political party. So without wasting much of your time, let me allow you to watch this brief clip from the interview granted on Arise News by civil and political rights activist Yemi Ademolekun and Professor Chike. Let me allow you to watch this. Stay tuned.
And lastly, the comment around ethnicity and religion. Malam El-Rufai's comments from Kaduna, and I think two interesting ones. El-Rufai's comments around religion in Kaduna, and the Speaker of the House in Lagos comments around ethnicity in Lagos. While his comments, people have responded that it will be unconstitutional, but I think the audacity that we have created, where elected government officials are boldly making statements to incite around religion and ethnicity, that we started with elections and we have continued into this administration, is certainly raising red flags that we need to be aware of and we need to speak about, and not just hope it would be swept under the table. I saw your comments, for example, on the morning show when we were talking about El-Rufai's comments. Everybody was expecting him to say, oh, that was not me. It was artificial intelligence. I didn't say that. He hasn't denied it, and nothing has happened. That's a problem.
I found it really strange because this is a guy I had known. I had met him with two of my very old friends, and even when he was a minister, we used to go to his house and all of that. And he came across, have a lot of northern friends as well. He came across to me as a cosmopolitan chap. So when I started hearing all these kind of things, I really got worried. Was this guy pretending all this time? You know, because that is dangerous. That guy is dangerous.
Well, the fact that
he said those things,
the fact that he has not disowned the statement is even what is more worrisome.
Yes, exactly.
And the fact that across the country you find people still, you know, doing ethnic dog whistling.
Especially he served, I mean, he was governor in a regime that was the most divisive regime we've ever had in the country. Left the country as divided as it possibly, even before the Civil War, though I was a child, I don't think Nigeria was this divided.
Okay. And his state, I mean,
let's take.
Hope you enjoyed that clip there, and hope you really followed up to the updates I gave you on board, because these are people who come out outrightly to say the truth and keep it as it is, okay? They are here by trying to call a spade in a situation where glaring issues of ethnic and religious bigotry are becoming the talk of the day. So the truth remains that these statements that have been made by these two people, the Lagos State House of Assembly Speaker and then the former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, are statements that can be linked to ethnic and religious bigotry. This is not supposed to be so. We are in a country that has been tainted by impunity, high level of corruption, wanton killings and kidnaps and so on. And then we have, we're trying to add to it religious and ethnic bigotry. That is not really the way to go. So I would urge those involved to please retrace or to please backstep their steps, if I would really say so, and please check what you say at when you say it, because even statements made in secret these days are also made or laid bare for Nigerians to hear. So we all who are all people who are involved in acquisition or existence in public offices should please check their statements, because you are there to actually govern the people. You're not there for a particular sect or a particular religion, neither are you there for a particular ethnic group. So I will say, please, all people who are wielding a public office should please sort of have a retrospect and check what you say, when you say them and how you say them. Finally, for talking about the race for the hierarchy of the National Assembly and the Senate House, Kazim Afegbua, a former Commissioner of Information in Edo State, has responded to the arrest of suspended CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele by declaring that people who believed that if they were touched, heaven would fall or heaven would tumble had been arrested over time. Now, he further opined that lots of Nigerians are relieved by Emefiele's arrest as they over time became tired of his Naira approach and his purported policies, financially though. So furthermore, he said outrightly, and he talked about the race of the Senate presidency and the hierarchy of the National Assembly. He asked Senator Yari, the former governor of Zamfara State, outgoing, to retain humility and composure in his own quest to become Senate president in order to avoid being arrested for distributing enormous cash. He claimed to have heard of cash distributions, let me say enormous cash distributions in the Yari's camp, but not in Akpabio's camp. Let me allow you watch a brief cutaway from the interview granted by Kazim Afebua, the former Commissioner of Information in Edo State. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
I haven't seen dollar on the Akpabio camp. I am close to Akpabio. I've been going with him and all that. But I've been hearing of dollars on the other side. And that is the sad story. That is the sad aspect of it. And it is good for Yari to maintain some level of humility and calmness. Because yesterday, men of powers today were being arrested. Those who thought that heavens will fall if they were being touched, we heard that Emefiele was arrested. Amen. You know, and Nigerians are jubilating because they felt this policy on the dollar naira.
All right, all said and done. I hope you really got the message there from Kazim Afebua. He outrightly said the truth, and he was pointing at what he knew. He was talking about what he knew. The information at his own disposal is that there is lots of cash, enormous cash is being shared in the Yari's camp over his quest for the hierarchy of the Senate presidency, okay? But we've not heard anything from the Akpabio's camp. We're not saying there is no cash being shared there. Maybe because Akpabio is a contingency plan, or Akpabio is actually the main candidate or the preferred candidate for the APC and the APC senators. But we'll see, of course. Tomorrow is the 13th day of June, which is the day stipulated for the election of the Senate presidency. So we heard that there are ranging and strong oppositions to oppose Akpabio in his quest to become Senate president, as earlier endorsed by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of the country. So we'll see what the opposition parties will do, because from analysis and from calculations, the APC senator strength in the Senate House is up to 57 or 58, and then other parties like the PDP have 38 or 32, and the Labour Party have 8, and then SDP 1, NNPP 1, and so on. So we'll see what happens in the quest or in the build-up to the Senate presidency tomorrow at the elections. Thanks for joining us. See you as we put hands on deck to see what happens over time. So keep a date with us at the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal at the Court of Appeal. We'll meet after the update. See you later. Bye.